Welcome to the Acquisition HQ podcast, where we interview seasoned operators, investors, as well as M&A experts. We dive deep into how these individuals are creating value within their companies for an exit. We also dive deep into the inner workings of growing a company as an operator. And then also M&A service providers will provide us education around the entire deal process. But today we're joined here with an AI expert, Joseph. And Joseph, JJ Jones, is a co-owner of Be Good Media, a boutique agency specializing in AI integration and operational efficiencies for growth stage businesses. He helps companies understand customer behavior and builds systems that make operations more efficient, scalable, and acquisition ready. With nearly a decade of experience, JJ focuses on bridging consumer psychology with technology, designing automated infrastructures that drive consistent revenue and stronger business valuations. He also serves as a guest lecturer at USD and SDSU in San Diego, where he teaches how AI integration and operational efficiencies are becoming key drivers of modern business value and competitive advantage. Thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Yeah, super happy to be here. This is exciting.
I'm excited to get into the depths of AI. But first, let's start with some let's start with your background first, and then we'll run right into terminology that many people don't know out there and how important AI is right as we speak.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, background on me is pretty simple. Just went to college like everybody else, but I happened to go for an online internet marketing degree. It was a bit of an excelled course, graduated valedictorian,
No big deal.
Yeah, no. It was a very small class. So it was totally fine. No, went to Full Sail University for that, got the degree, graduated, and then threw my computer off to the side for a year and said, I'm never touching this thing again. At the time, I was working at a gym, just trying to grow a career in that because I love fitness. And then all of a sudden, I was like, maybe I should do something with the degree that could be really interesting. And then started working with a local nonprofit, and that was over in the Sacramento territory, and helping out with kids with leukemia, stuff like that. I became their social media manager and just kind of helped them grow. Like, we had a few really good accounts there and trying to help kids. And it was really helpful to me to be able to actually create an impact for one of the very first jobs that I had in marketing. From there, company saw me and just said, hey, come do SEO work with us. And I was like, the one thing in college that I hated the most. Yeah, this is the one class. I was just like, this sucks. Okay, let's do it. And then all of a sudden I ended up falling in love with it because there's challenges left and right. And then just worked at a couple different agencies and then decided to join my business partner, Justin, in order to be able to do Be Good Media.
Well, what I see with you and many people in a scenario where they've got to use a strong understanding of data analytics as well as an engineering mind. So whenever you're working within the health and wellness industry, everything that you're doing is an engineering performance.
Right.
And what you're doing right now is still the same. You're engineering performance, and you're looking at ways within companies that you create efficiencies, because humans are like levers within, right? Just like what you do within the fitness space. And now you're able to transition right into a space by leveraging the same, mentality, right? But now you're seeing advancements within a space, which is AI.
Yeah.
So share with us, let's start with the terminology and what people are getting wrong right now, but also what people need to know about what is to come with AI.
Kind of hard to predict for that one. So jump into terminology first. Definitely.
Yeah, let's do that.
So there's a lot that's being discussed right now in terms of how we actually talk about primarily what I've been doing for the last decade, which is search engine optimization is what I've been doing. That is your organic channel for your website, and you can pull in a whole bunch of other channels like social media now in order to be able to say it's search everywhere optimization. So still the SEO, but it's in a lot of other territories other than just your website. Generative engine optimization is typically what we're talking about, GEO. You've heard AEO, answer engine optimization. That's more in the Google AI overview section. So that's primarily where we keep that one. Everything comes down to answering questions for consumers when they're on like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever the AI platform is. But ultimately, it is important to know that this is generative. And I think a lot of people don't have that understanding where answer engine optimization is typically coming down to, well, here's a whole bunch of websites and that's pretty much it. Here's your overview and these are the top results. So let's get
And
out.
AEO, would that still be considered Google, where you just type in your question and then
For
it
the
would
most
pull up?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
You've seen the overview section. It's just like, here are the top tips for this. Like, why would you need to click on a website?
True.
So then we had the great decoupling, is what it was called last year, where your clicks went down, but your impressions skyrocketed because you're now in the AI overview section at this point.
Yeah, I guess.
So
I
that
see
was
yeah.
really scary for a lot of businesses, where they're just like, what the heck is happening? And then as an SEO, we're like, wait a second, hold on. Conversions have improved. They haven't gotten worse. So the impressions was a fallacy. The clicks that we were getting to the website was a fallacy. Now you actually have people that are coming there for direct purpose. And a lot of those people are now utilizing two tools at once, which is ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever AI that they're most familiar with, where ChatGPT has kind of been the main player for a long time, like over 850 million users actively in a single week. That was late last year. I think it was like October time, something like that. But then Gemini slowly crept up, and then it's at this point where Gemini actually had 200 million users go from ChatGPT over to Gemini. So that Gemini is Google. So Google has more information than anything else because they've been trained on Reddit and a whole bunch of other different
they've been around long enough,
platforms.
right? Can you share with us, just as a detailed understanding of how LLMs work first, just to make sure that we have a clear understanding? Because it's in essence an aggregate of data.
Yeah.
And then the data is then search queried by an individual who's wanting to access knowledge.
Correct.
So can you share with us about that?
I won't get too in depth on it because I wouldn't say I'm the expert on how AI technically functions, but I will say this. The AI LLM, it's called a large language model because it was created off of large amount of language processing. So you've got trillions of nodes that are within the back end of every single AI platform. So this has been worked on for years upon years, decades at this point, in order to be able to get to where we're at today, right? AI has been around for a long, long time. So the node side of things is basically just the levers behind the back end of it that say, here's my data set and this is where I need to go. Originally, it was generated with information that was fed by the programmers and the people that are actually in charge of building out these different AI models, right? And then they decided a couple years ago, let's just throw it onto the web. So now a lot of what you see when it comes to the answers, the responses to your prompt, so it's a little bit different. You might type in a keyword on Google, but here you're more so trying to have a conversation with it because it feels a little bit more personable. What it's going to do is it's going to find information as immediately as it possibly can through what we call query fanouts. So it takes the base knowledge of what it knows from the original prompt that you set to it, and then it pours it out into different variations and says, this is where I need to go for information, and then collects that information in just seconds and then produces the answer to it. So it's very, very smart brain, but it's all based on patterns. It actually isn't creating things on its own as much as people want to say that it is. It's not. It's not AGI, which is the artificial general intelligence. This is just the AI model that is large language, saying that I know the pattern of what will probably come next. I know the most likely next outcome, so therefore I'm going to say this is probably what it is. So it's kind of like a human. Yeah, it's not using the imagination side of things, which is what we have for like our right brain. It's using the left for logic. That's really what it's coming down to.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I think it's important for the operators, as for anyone out there, honestly, listening to this, to understand what is present and also what is to come, in the future.
Yeah.
But, I want to double down into understanding and streamlining efficiencies within companies, because AI is here now to stay and it will be in the future. So what are you seeing that business owners are coming to you and asking questions like, how do I implement this? What type of problems are they facing right now with the implementation of artificial intelligence into their workflow?
Each business is a little bit different. If you look at a B2B versus a B2C company. So we work with a lot of different companies at Be Good Media for, you have like direct consumer products, you have e-com, you got travel, wellness side of things. We've got a lot of different ones. So their questions are a little bit different. I would say they're scared is the main thing that I'm seeing when it comes to AI, is like, how is AI going to do X? How is it going to put some of my people out of a job? How is it going to take over my sales? How am I going to lose out on people? That's really the line of questioning that we get. And the main question is, how is this actually being adopted for revenue? Because business owners are really looking for that. Like, how does revenue turn into profit for me? Like, if I invest in this, is this going to be a good ROI for it, right? And how do you even come up with that cost when it comes to what we do of like GEO, so generative engine optimization, right? So the line of questioning when it comes to, I'd call it integrations, but it's more so workflows that work best for teams when it comes to a business operational standpoint.
Okay.
So you have several different departments. You have I'll use business ops, sales, and marketing as the main ones. That's primarily what we help out with, right? So
Well, and there are areas that, sorry, hold on to that. There are areas within companies that are leveraging AI more than other areas.
Yes.
Obviously.
yeah, I would
But
say
those
marketing
few areas that you just said are highly adopting AI.
should be highly adopted AI.
should-
I think
should be.
that's kind of the main
Yeah.
thing, because that's the main opportunity point right now is for all of those, because they have systems. They have systems and procedures, the SOPs on the back end that say this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So if you don't follow that with AI can make it 10 times more efficient for you. And it's still as accurate as it possibly can be because you fed it the information, right? So we can get into that at another point.
Let's go back to those three and then let's define those.
Okay. So in each one of those sectors, you got the business ops, sales, and marketing. Marketing can use it from a creative standpoint. We're a digital marketing agency. We're using AI literally every single day in order to be able to work on efficiencies. But there's a human in the seat at all points. I think that's a very good distinction to have, is that we don't rely on AI, we use AI. Very big difference. Whereas a lot of people out there actually rely on AI. You shouldn't do that. It hallucinates and it causes a lot of issues. So marketing.
Hold up. What's hallucination? Just make sure people are understanding what that is.
So it's a legitimate term for AI hallucinations. Basically, it says this is the end all be all. Like, you heard of the strawberry, like spell out strawberry, and it's like, it's got 3 R's. Like, no, it's got 2.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
spell it out to you. It's literally, read it back to me. It's like, it's got 3 R's. Like,
No,
what are you doing?
it doesn't have
it
3
doesn't
Rs.
have 3 R's. So it hallucinates in saying that this information is accurate. I guarantee it. I will stand by this. I'm going to die on this hill. That's what AI says to you. You have to prove to it in certain circumstance, which is why a human always has to be in the seat. That's not accurate. That's not factual, which is why you have to use it as a tool rather than someone that's an expert. You can't think of it as a human being. It's not. It tries to act that way, mimic it, so that way you don't get scared to use it and so you feel more comfortable with it. That's why they give it the voice that they do. Have you ever
love that.
used those, like, ChatGPT has this particular feature where it actually has voice mode where you can do a conversation with it. It's gotten better over time. Have you ever used that?
No, not yet.
It's really scary. So it's scary in that when I first used it, it was like, oh, okay, this is AI. Like, it sounds like a bit of a robot, but it's using inflection and tone. So it's trying to understand. It's gotten to the point where it actually sounds like you're talking to a legitimate person and it doesn't stutter, which is kind of the creepiest thing at this point, because you're legitimately having a conversation back to back with someone or something, but you feel like it's someone because it uses a human voice to mimic. That's kind of the scariest thing. And then there's options for what you want.
Okay, let's go back. We were in a nice little flow there, and then I stopped you with hallucinations. Just make sure that the people are understanding. But let's go right back to that train of thought, back to the 3 that were the core.
Yeah. So from a marketing standpoint, the easiest way to go about it is you have systems, like maybe you're using Canva or Photoshop or something. Maybe you have a delivery method where you always have social media posts that are going out on calendars and all that good stuff, right? Maybe you're trying to generate captions for things. So clients come to us and they ask, okay, so for social media in particular, or for content creation, how do we leverage AI? How do we embed it?
True.
So that's kind of the main integration point. And the integration comes down to workflows. A lot of people were talking about AI bots and integrating on your website. Like, wouldn't this be great? It's like, yeah, well, you got to feed it the information. Like, that's a lot of information to feed it. So your marketing team can become 5, 10x more efficient if they leverage it through projects, workflows, different things that you can do with different AI systems.
Yeah, you can create workflows. You can prompt AI to create workflows that then become AI workflows.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole point to it is in order to be able to help the marketing team get out more content faster. And then after you have, like, let's say there's data sets that you have that you want to be able to see which ad did best, right? Or which content piece does best on my website. Typically, we would traditionally go to like Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics and stuff like that and say, oh, okay, well, this is what's happening. And I just manually did that. Now with AI, you could literally say, run this report for me on what's working out best across all these different social media platforms or across my website as well, see who's coming and converting the best. So give me an audience, a lookalike audience that makes the most sense and what their behaviors are. From there, who are the best converters? From there, how do I target them again with similar messaging? So you can actually help integrate all the marketing departments together, because most of the time they're siloed off. So that's a marketing standpoint.
That's incredibly valuable.
It's helpful, and no one's really utilizing it that way, unfortunately. That's what we're trying to help people understand, is like, it can just have a human in the seat. It's the driver. Like, don't do the Waymo thing, or is it Waymo?
Waymo, yeah.
Waymo, yeah. So I was just in Arizona, and the Waymo is scary as heck to me, because I'm just like, so I wouldn't have taken that turn like that. There's some oncoming traffic that just decided to speed last minute, and it's already making the turn, right? And there's like 50 of these cars.
So let's not be like Waymo.
Let's not be Waymo. Let's put a user in the seat. Let's be more like a very well-educated Uber that can offer you advice along the way.
I like that. Okay, we got 2 more we got to hit.
Yeah. So from a sales perspective, let's go in there. A lot of sales teams don't really leverage more than the analytics that they're provided from sales department, right? They don't get into the marketing or anything like that. A smart way to go about it for the sales team is you can leverage the analytics from marketing specifically. So that's tool setup that we just talked about, that workflow. They could get that information, so it can be passed to 2 different teams or however many teams that you want. Very helpful for them, of like who's actually converting and what message is working best. Got it. That's what's happening with the ad side. I would say the best thing for sales teams right now is to integrate it with follow-ups and cold outreach, but make sure that it's just on the automation flow side of things. So you do the initial outreach. It can find all of these for you. It can find all of these different companies that you should be, or consumers that you should be looking for in terms of sales, and you can go after them. It's phone number, stuff like that. Very smart to use it for that standpoint.
Follow up and outreach.
But follow up and outreach for a sequencing perspective is very, very smart, because then you don't have to do anything after that point. You could even put a profile behind every single one of these clients that you're trying. Let's say it's like you're going after selling like ADP as an example. If they wanted to be able to go out and sell some more companies on the HR side of things, or the payroll or anything like that, it's very simple for them to be able to say, well, here's the profile of what I typically go after. Go find me a whole bunch of businesses. Got it. Now that I have those businesses, I'm doing the initial outreach. Also, I'm going to give all the emails, all 100 of those emails I just sent out to businesses, over to you, AI, and go ahead and utilize this for my tone and personality. From there, I want you to set up a follow-up sequence with X different people in here. But first, go out and find all those emails, additional ones for me, or contacts, whatever they are. Now you can go ahead and you can get to the next step of following up with them until they respond. Don't be this. Don't act aggressive. Like, there's a lot of different things you can do there. So that's how I would do it for sales.
Now, is there any softwares that you would recommend one to be able to leverage for that specific thing, or is there one platform that has multiple tools inside of it already?
There are hundreds of thousands of tools that are coming out right now in AI. Okay. So in terms of, I would say if you want a custom workflow, which is what operates best, is creating just a custom workflow, you can assign that in N8N is what we've been using, where it's a full 8, you create your own AI agent and it does everything for you. All documentation, everything, it's interconnected, and it's proprietary information that stays proprietary. That's the beauty of it. So don't get scared of, you have the business and you're like, oh, is it going to know my numbers? It's like, no, it's not going to keep your numbers. It is your agent. It's not like you just send it off to ChatGPT or Gemini and it's like, oh, I'm keeping this and I'm showing it to the world. That also is not how that one works.
You guys are helping people implement those systems?
Yeah, we help them with the workflows. That's exactly it. It's custom workflows from start to finish, and it will utilize different AI models like Claude. It's one of our favorites. Gemini is another one. So that's integrated into it for faster responses, and you can actually input.
It's incredible. I mean, I just see a future where, again, every business will have some form of AI, and then individuals that are running specific AI's protocol, inside of their systems. And it's just going to create incredible efficiencies and just exponential growth across the multitude of channels, for those companies. Let's go with the last one. So you had sales, marketing,
business ops,
which is really not one of the big, it's not the biggest, but there's a lot of operations within companies.
There's a lot.
And there's a lot of misconfusion that can happen, but also there's a lot of efficiencies that can be created. So share with us more about the efficiencies you guys are creating and also seeing within companies.
So one of the best things you can do, because we typically, people have large tool sets in order to be able to, like their tech stack is huge typically in terms of how they operate the company, where their systems are actually located, their processes for things. Like from a business ops perspective, and you've got all these different goals that you want to set up and you want to make sure that everyone's taken care of. From an HR perspective, you can throw that into the mix there. You can merge all your tools together in order to be able to get a larger data set of how things are actually running within the business. And that's a huge one. Like as an example, if you're using Salesforce, but your sales team is kind of in charge of that, but you want to be able to see, okay, how are we, what's our projection? Where are we actually going to go as a company? What type of revenue could we technically make this year? You can have conversations where you could say, play devil's advocate on this business decision. This is where we're at currently today.
Challenge the business efficiency.
Challenge me in my decision making. Like if you're, as an example, if you're a CEO or you work in the IT side of things, CTO, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are within the suite, you can literally ask it, this is the role that I am. This is what I'm in charge of. Here are the next steps I'm planning on taking. Now your job as the AI model is to tell me what I should be looking out for and to ask me proactive questions as to what could possibly come about in a negative or positive experience. So you can have it do the whole devil's advocate. Lots of people do that at this point where it's like, not a good idea. Yeah. And here's what you could expect from that. But I would say this, the thing that people aren't leveraging enough when it comes to business, or anyone really, when it comes to AI for business, is they are not using RAG. And RAG is essentially the backend that says, here's all the data and information that came directly from my company that I fed into this AI model.
What does RAG stand for?
I'm losing it. I wish I could tell you off the top of my head. I know so many acronyms.
So that's a term you guys have to look up.
Yeah.
RAG.
It's like regenerative something, augmented something.
It's okay. You still have graduated valedictorian. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's a lot here. Like I said, I mean, I feel like the businesses of today and tomorrow are going to have extraordinary value if they can leverage and implement these systems strategically, as people will start to exchange value of one business to the next.
Yeah.
We're also seeing a great amount of value being realized from older generation companies now advancing their technology stack. Have you guys been able to see that in individuals that are looking for potential exits or a value exchange from one company to the next?
I would say,
yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
That's kind of why we're here, is because we're not really seeing it as much in order to be able to have it as a leverage. In order to be able to gain more capital. That's really what we're trying to identify, is what would be good outcomes utilizing AI for the businesses that people currently have.
I mean, what I see personally is you've got holdcos. The holdcos have multiple companies underneath their portfolios. Many of the software, much of the software to create efficiencies across the board of all their companies. I mean, for example, you have a franchise owner, and then inside of the franchise, there's 10 different companies or 10 different franchises with the same thing, right? And then you've got service-based landscaping companies, for example, that are now rolling up other landscaping, and there could be, obviously, like you said, on the sales side of things, as well as the content, just a massive increase in the adoption of AI to increase. Obviously, you have to have people that go out and make sure that, but also, for example, you've got appointment setting calendars that AI, can start integrating into and whatnot. But anyway, obviously we could go deeper into this, but there's just so much, so much there. It's exciting to think about. It's exciting to talk about. But, I just want to make sure that we as a community, obviously there's so much to go into here, but I would say let's end out though on some of your best practices that you would suggest though to those out there that are building their companies with AI.
Best practices: go through an analysis of your company, find out where the mundane tasks really are per department. I would say would work out best, just because you can find them. You know where the time sucks as well, I'll say. You know where those are located at all times. And As you're doing that, talk with your teams as to how they're currently leveraging, because I guarantee almost every single person is actually utilizing a tool like ChatGPT or Gemini, and just to find out if there's any workflows that they've created, because a lot of people are trying to like build out their own software.
Yeah, like individual employees inside of a company.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
The individuals within the side of the company are going to be the ones that tell you the most valuable information. You might think that something is a really good idea to integrate. You might hear about this wonderful AI system that came out. It's like, yeah, let's get that on board. Will your team actually use it? I would say that's probably one of the biggest things, especially for larger companies like enterprises. Be very cautious of the AI that you actually integrate with your system, because I've heard of stories where it goes a little haywire. I've heard of people cutting, don't lose your head count is another one.
Yeah.
Cutting the team is a big one that a lot of people have tried doing, and it just ends up with the consumers being really upset because they don't want to work with AI, because they're starting to recognize it, even though it's really, really good at this point. We were talking about earlier, it's really human to human interaction. If you want to know my prediction with it all as well, human to human interaction, authenticity is the most important thing. We're social creatures. We have to stay social in order to survive. That's how we've seen things, right? And AI is not your best friend. I think it's going to be every consumer's pocket assistant. I even think for business owners like CEOs, founders, it's even investors, right? If you want to go that deep. But everyone is going to have this pocket assistant that is personalized. This is where we talk about PRO, which is personal response optimization. It's all personalized and catered towards you and what you want. So if you're integrating a system, find out where your company is currently at with systems that are not 100% adopted, because you invest like $40 million into a new AI system that you think is going to work out really, really well for you. It could end up causing conflict within culture, which you don't want to do, because maybe like someone expires because they didn't utilize AI the right way. So get them training. That's a better way to do it if they're really good at their job. But ultimately, just be cautious of what your team is willing to use. Because I mean, I've worked at agencies before. There's certain things where you're just like, yeah, I'm not going to use that.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, because I can do it over here significantly faster. So why am I even doing this? Why am I doing that particular training?
Yeah. So I would also suggest those company owners out there just to fully embrace it. You know, like what you're saying, because again, all of the people that are working within the company are going to have their own discovery. With AI out there, you know, and if the company is having guardrails on everything to slow the people down in the work, they're not going to want to work there very long.
Typically, it's like Titanic when it's a larger company. You can't really steer it out of the way of that iceberg, and AI being the iceberg.
I see that.
Where there's a lot more information that you just don't know about underneath it, right? So that's why it's just so, it can be concerning. I would say full adoption is great. Don't be scared of it from any standpoint. Don't be scared that AI is here. Just be smarter on how to leverage it and use it as just the tool that it is.
Yeah, that's good. Well, how do us as an audience leverage you? Because I know you've got Be Good Media, and how do we get a hold of you?
Yeah, so obviously we have a website, begoodmedia.com. What we're really specialized in right now is helping businesses, kind of two different parts right now. So helping businesses leverage AI workflows and integrations in order to be able to actually create growth, create capital. And then if you want to be able to do a merger or acquire, or you want to sell, you have an exit plan. This will help you build more capital to be able to have a much better valuation at the end of the day, because it's efficient and it makes you more money. And then typically what our services include for that is like an audit is really what we're going after, to be able to help people, like just a full-on audit. Where do you have those mundane tasks? Where are you losing in terms of your channels? Like what's actually affecting the business, and where can we create an impact together? And so it's a partnership. That's really how we see that one. And then other things that we do is like the search engine optimization, because that is my business partner, Justin, said it perfectly. GEO is a cosplayer of SEO.
Yeah.
They both work in tandem together. Your organic channels are going to go best from here on out.
That's perfect.
I would say that's the most important thing.
Well, again, we just want to say thank you so much for sharing your knowledge here on the Acquisition HQ podcast. If you guys like today's episode about AI and you're wanting to integrate AI into your business, obviously reach out here to Justin with Be Good Media, as well as Justin as well.
Yeah, go to Be Good Media.
Justin and Joseph here with Be Good Media, and they do wonderful work. And again, thank you for being a part of the AHQ Council out there in San Diego, as well as the AHQ family. So we're excited to see where your business grows, and we're here to help. So thank you guys for watching today's episode. If you liked it, make sure to subscribe and also share it with your friends. And we can't wait to make another episode just like this for you in the future.